What if I told you that everything you think you know about our planet's oceans is completely wrong? Prepare to have your mind blown, because the depths beneath us are so extreme that they make space exploration look like a walk in the park. Picture this mind-bending scenario. If we took every mountain, every hill, every piece of land on Earth and used it to fill up the ocean's deepest trenches, our entire planet would still be submerged under 2 miles of water. That's right. Even after flattening Mount Everest and every other landmass on Earth, we'd all be living underwater. But here's the kicker. That's just scratching the surface of how deep our oceans actually go. Let me put this journey into perspective for you. Imagine you're the size of a tiny dot. An elephant would be slightly bigger, and the largest ship ever constructed would tower above both. Now, let's dive into the abyss and discover what lurks in the crushing darkness below. Our first stop is just 40 meters down, which represents the deepest recreational divers are allowed to go. That's basically the height of a 10-story building, but underwater. Yet even at this shallow depth, things get interesting fast. At 93 meters, we find the wreck of the Lusitania. And here's something that'll blow your mind. This massive ship actually sank in water that was shallower than the ship was long. If it had somehow landed upright, part of it would have been sticking out above the waves like a skyscraper. Just past the 100-meter mark, diving becomes potentially deadly due to decompression sickness. Yet one incredible human named Herbert Nitsch managed to free dive down to 214 meters on a single breath. That's like swimming down to a 70-story building underwater without any breathing apparatus. Meanwhile, the scuba diving world record sits at 332 meters, achieved by Ahmed Gaber, which means he dove deeper than the Empire State Building is tall. At 500 meters, we reach the maximum diving depth of blue whales, Earth's largest creatures, and also the operational limit of advanced nuclear submarines. But here's where things start getting seriously intense. At 535 meters, where emperor penguins reach their diving limit, the water pressure becomes equivalent to having a polar bear balanced on a quarter-sized coin, pressing down on every inch of your body. Once we cross the 1,000-meter threshold, we enter what I call the nightmare zone. Sunlight can no longer penetrate these depths, meaning everything below exists in complete, permanent darkness. The water pressure at this point equals what you'd experience standing on the surface of Venus, which would kill you almost instantly. This is also where you'd encounter giant squids, assuming the crushing pressure didn't get you first. As we descend to 2,250 meters, we enter the hunting grounds of sperm whales and the absolutely terrifying colossal squid. These massive creatures, reaching 14 meters in length with dinner plate-sized eyes and razor-sharp hooks on their tentacles, engage in epic battles in the pitch-black depths. The scars found on sperm whales tell the story of these underwater gladiatorial matches. At 3,800 meters, we reach the final resting place of the Titanic. But we're still not even close to the bottom. At 4,000 meters, we enter the abyssal zone where water pressure reaches a staggering 11,000 pounds per square inch. Strange, alien-like creatures with names like fangtooth and viperfish call this hellscape home. The real madness begins at 6,000 meters in the Hadal zone, named after the underworld itself. Here, water pressure becomes 1,100 times stronger than at sea level. Imagine an elephant balanced on a postage stamp, or carrying the weight of 50 Boeing 747 jumbo jets on your shoulders. Yet somehow, life still exists in these impossible conditions. At 8,848 meters, we've reached the equivalent depth of Mount Everest turned upside down. The deepest any human has ever ventured is 10,916 meters. Achieved in 1960 by two brave explorers who spent 5 hours descending and only stayed at the bottom for 20 minutes before a window crack forced them to surface. Finally, at 10,994 meters, we reach Challenger Deep, the deepest known point in our oceans. To put this in perspective, if you've ever looked down from a commercial airplane window, you're looking at roughly the same distance we've just traveled into the abyss. But here's the most shocking revelation of all. We've only accurately mapped about 5% of our ocean floor. That means 95% remains a complete mystery. The Sirena Deep wasn't even discovered until 1997, making it the second deepest known point. Who knows what other mind-bending depths are waiting to be discovered in the vast unexplored regions of our planet's final frontier? The ocean isn't just deeper than you think, it's an alien world right beneath our feet that makes outer space look familiar by comparison. But here's the real question. If we've only mapped 5% of the ocean floor, what could be hiding in the other 95%? Monsters? Lost civilizations? Or something we can't even imagine? If you want me to explore those mysteries in future videos, hit subscribe and drop a comment with what you think is lurking in the deep. The next dive might be even darker than this one.